Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Connection with the weekly comic book roundup. We've covered, excuse me, a good chunk of this week's books. And now it's on to the last batch. Kicking things off, we've got Devil's Reign Omega. So, we'll honestly be going into deeper detail on this book in the Devil's Reign event recap finale. But Wilson Fisk sailed off for the sunset. Luke Cage became mayor of New York. So we open up. Reed Richards is trying to find either Wilson Fisk or his wife, Mary Walker, aka Typhoid Mary, for Daredevil, but nothing. They apparently, as Reed puts it, he suspects that Fisk is in Liberia. It would explain how he's hidden it from magicians and telepaths as well. But next is the funeral of Matt Murdock. Now, in Devil's Reign number 5, Mayor Fisk murdered Mike Murdock, Matt's brother, thinking that it was Matt. But various heroes show up. His associate Kristen gives the eulogy. J. Jonah Jameson, afterwards, J. Jonah Jameson, who's in attendance, states that he figured it would have been Foggy giving it, but Foggy says he just couldn't. But Butch Ferris, Wilson Fisk's illegitimate son and the new Kingpin, also shows his respects, as Mike Murdock was his best friend. But Mayor Cage, as well as Danny Rand, try to stop him, and, well, he walks away. Afterwards, Luke Cage and Danny Rand go on a rooftop to meet with Daredevil and Daredevil. Basically say, okay, yeah, fine. But Daredevil basically says, it's better if the world believes Matt Murdock is dead. As he and Elektra intend to go to war with the Hand. There's a bank robbery happening, and Cage, Rand, and the Daredevils go to stop it when the Thunderbolts show up. The Thunderbolts are still a law enforcement agency in New York, and a lot of them aren't too keen on the new mayoral administration. Meanwhile, Jessica Jones looks into the Purple Child, the child of the Purple Man that actually still had powers, and pulls the power dampening collar off of him, and seemingly adopts him. Later on, Cage is looking into abolishing the Thunderbolts, but, well, it's going to take a lot of work, and, well, the city council will have to basically justify it to their voters, so, yeah. At the burial, Kristen shows up, opens Matt Murdock's coffin, and tosses a rock inside. Apparently, she had picked it up from the corner as Matt was clutching it when he died. It must have been important to him. So Kristen makes sure that the rock, that's the Norn Stone that Mike had hidden away at Matt's apartment, is with him. Meaning that we're probably be seeing a return of Mike Murdock. We got a backup story called We got another story called Cleaning House. This is basically just a setup to the upcoming Thunderbolts mini. Cage basically having realized that he can't really abolish Thunderbolts, figures okay, you know, rebranding. Beats the hell out of Crossbones with some assist, and the Thunderbolts troops are officers with an assist from Monica Rambeau. There's a PR firm that's been employed by Cage to kind of help with the Thunderbolts image. Yeah, Monica's not doing it. Tells Cage good luck, and she's out. But the PR person has another candidate in mind, Clint Barton, and that is where the issue ends. It's a wrap up issue. I think that my biggest problem with it is the fact that there wasn't a Devil's Reign Alpha, so it kind of feels weird that there's a Devil's Reign Omega. But that's me. Moving on to our next book, we've got Hulk, number 7, chapter 3 of Banner of War. So where we left off, Hulkbuster had shown up, and Odin had tried talking sense into both aspects of into Banner as well as the Hulk. And now Banner is in the engine room while the Hulk is seemingly in control. With Banner realizing that the Hulk doesn't realize he's not still in the simulation. But Banner witnesses an explosion in the engine room. The Hulkbuster shows up and as per usual gets busted while Thor looks on. But the Hulkbuster armor gets trashed. Before Tony's having some issue with the fact that Thor's hammer's talking to him again. What happened to the lightning lady that they got rid of? Not realizing it's Odin's spirit, but then Hulk returns, continues to tear shit up. The Hulkbuster armor gets thoroughly busted. Odin has Mjolnir fly from Thor's hand to Hulk. And a massive gamma explosion engulfs the planet that the Black Hand of Death orbits. Tony's protected by his armor. The gamma explosion was approximately the force of 3,000 gamma bombs. And but Tony asked a few hypotheticals. If a human was caught in the blast, like Banner, would it create a Hulk? No, it would atomize them. Okay, well, just for you, what if they weren't human? What if they were a god? And Tony is faced with a gamma-irradiated Thor, who simply says 2 words: Thor smash. And that is where the issue ends. Banner of War has been a fun ride. Cates' Hulk run is interesting. It's not Planet Hulk good, but I don't have a lot to compare. I haven't read many Hulk runs, so I've read bits and pieces of some. Peter Davids, Greg Pax, and now Donny Cates. So yeah. Anyway, moving on to our next book, we've got Moon Knight, number 11. Where we left off, Moon Knight had discovered that his therapist had been kidnapped and replaced by Zodiac and replaced with the shape-shifting Waxman. So, Moon Knight did the smart thing, imprisoned Waxman in an inescapable steel ball, and then once learning where his therapist was being kept, poured cement on top of the steel ball. You know, like, as one does. But so we open with Moon Knight, Tigra, and Moon Knight's newest associate, Rutherford Winter, another patient of Dr. Sturman's, looking over a warehouse where apparently Dr. Sturman is being kept. But apparently Dr. Sturman is being held by Jigsaw, and apparently Jigsaw was told that, you know, he's got to keep Dr. Sturman there until Moon Knight shows up. When Moon Knight does, Jigsaw's to kill Dr. Sturman in front of Moon Knight. So seemingly Moon Knight shows up, but it's not Moon Knight. It's Tigra wearing his cape. Moon Knight pounds on Jigsaw until Dr. Sturman pulls him off. When Zodiac calls, he's outside the midnight mission. Surprised at how quickly the mission was rebuilt. But he intends to kill Reese or kill the people around the neighborhood. Though, fun fact, he still is going to kill the people in the neighborhood anyway, no matter whether or not Reese comes out. And him and Zodiac and his Zodiac cartel have managed to take down Hunter's Moon. But of course, the problem there is that Moon Knight is in New Jersey. Makes it a little hard to get to the midnight mission quickly. But he calls upon Khonshu for aid, and Khonshu answers. Of course, there will be a price. There always is. Reese is planning to go out there, but Soldier stops her. But and kind of figures, okay, he's not going to be able to really stop her unless there's an actual plan, and he has one. At least buy some time. Before Tigra and Moon Knight go through the portal, which Khonshu is, the pathway that Khonshu has lit for them, Tigra confesses to him that she's been spying on Moon Knight for the Avengers, which Moon Knight already knew, explaining that there was no way Black Panther wasn't going to have eyes on him after the age of Khonshu. No way he was just going to be happy with reports from Moon Knight's therapist. So when Moon Knight's best friend from the Avengers turns up a while later, he figured it out. She asked why he didn't say anything, and he says that he needed a friend. Adding that Tigra always does what she thinks is right. It's who she is and why they've always gotten along. And so they take the path. They're not exactly welcome, so the way will be dangerous. But Soldier's plan involves him putting on Mr. Knight's suit, and presumably to start a fight with him. And that is where the issue ends. I keep saying I've really been loving this book. I really have been. So yeah, they did great. They really did. I have been wondering since the revelation that since it was shown that Tiger is spying on Moon Knight for Black Panther, how that was going to go down, and I'm honestly I'm glad it went down this way, the way it did. I I like Tiger as a guest, being a guest star in the book. If for no other reason, it's just nice to see Tiger, in comics again because she doesn't often show up. Woman with mystical tiger powers isn't exactly high up on the list of who do we put on the new Avengers team. So yeah. Anyway, moving on to our next book, we've got Punisher #3. Where we left off, High Slayer of the Hand, Frank Castle, had learned took on the Apostles of War yet again, killing yet another, and it was revealed we learned who was in charge of the Apostles of War. Ares, the god of war. But so we begin with the Hand raiding a Hydra base, slaughtering their way through the Hydra troopers. One was spared, so that Frank could kill him in front of the rest of the Hand. And the High Priestess instructs Frank to talk about the first time he killed. He was 8 years old. He had seen a couple get beaten to death in the street outside the apartment building he lived in. He noticed that how everyone's everyone's windows shut, blinds went down, everybody left the street, just let it happen. But Frank saw. He was doing target practice with BB gun, and he's out of BBs. He was told to forget about it. He tried, but he couldn't. He went to the funeral for the two victims, and was the only one there. He said to him, he was the only one who still heard the screaming, and the only one who could make it stop. But he made some napalm, and little napalm booby trap type of thing. And wearing a Captain America Halloween mask, he lit the killer on fire. Once again, everyone shut their windows and pretended they weren't seeing a guy a grown man on fire running through the street screaming. Everyone ignored it, except for Frank. But Frank kills the Hydra soldier and discovers and learns that it is Ares who's in charge of the Apostles of War. Two hand ninjas are brought before him. One cut out the tongue of another, and then the brother of the one whose tongue got cut out. Stupid stuff, and so Frank kills both of them, saying that they were murderers, and they admitted it. But the High Priestess says, "Hey, we're all murderers here." But Frank tells the rest of the ninjas that they're to kill who he tells them to, and no one else. But he's informed that his wife Maria is having some troubles. Goes out to find out what's happened, and she's in hysterics. They left their kids at the park. But Frank calms her down, and she is then given a sedative. A Hand war party is sent to deal with Ares, and is slaughtered. Frank prays to the beast and gets his children in the hopes of his children being restored to life. And that is where the issue ends. This is definitely one of the most interesting Punisher stories I've read at least in a while, if not ever. And I'm serious. I'm here for it. I really am. But moving on to our next book, we've got Deathstroke Incorporated, number 9. Where we left off in Shadow War, it seemed as though perhaps Talia's army of ninjas killed Respawn. And we open with the crime doctor confirming that he's dead. Even if he had been taken to a proper hospital, they wouldn't have been able to do anything. Meanwhile, Batman and Robin have come upon the imposter Deathstroke. Who makes it clear that his entire plan revolved around starting a war between Talia and Deathstroke. He manages to escape in an earthquake, and well, that's that. But Batman's starting to get an idea of who this is. At Batman Incorporated, Deathstroke breaks out at the Secret Society, takes on a few members of Batman Inc. The big thing is Deathstroke versus Ghost Hunter, or Ghostmaker, but with fight only ending when Deathstroke threatens to kill Clown Hunter. And Deathstroke also blows up the building. His Secret Society are headed to Nepal. Deathstroke explains that he had the Secret Society run and hide because of Respawn. Now they're going on a suicide mission. But Angel Breaker informs Celia that her forces are no longer looking for Deathstroke, and that Black Canary rejected Angel Breaker's offer. But also, Talia has her grandmother held captive and ordered her sent back to Lazarus Island. But she's also informed of a bat plane en route. Figures, okay, well, Batman's bringing Damian back. But it's not Batman. It's Deathstroke and the Secret Society. And that is where the issue ends. And what do you know? We've actually got the next chapter right here as our last book of the week. Robin, number 14. No real need to go over a recap because we kind of just did that. So, Batman and Robin are discussing what's happened at Batman Incorporated with Ghostmaker, while Demon Slade's forces and Talia's forces take each other on, with in fact some of the one faction cutting and running. But Deathstroke makes it to Talia, and the two of them have a one-on-one. Batman's borrowed Ghostmaker's plane, the Ghost Stream, and brought a few of the members of Batman Incorporated with him. Tells Robin to stay put. And he apologizes for what he said about having been able to, he could have saved Alfred, adding that Batman adding that he never should have left Gotham when Bane took over, and putting Damian in a position where he felt he had to save Alfred alone. Alfred's death was never Damian's fault; it was Bruce's. And he wants Damian to stay behind on the Ghost Room so he knows he's safe. But Robin leaps out of the Ghost Stream. Ghostmaker likes the kid. Batman goes after him. Then the members of Batman Incorporated make their way down. But they see the fight going on between Talia and Slade. Angel Breaker and Ghostmaker have a fight. Apparently they have a history. Ghostmaker had the intention of Angel Breaker being the Catwoman of his Batman. Ravager informs Damian about Respawn's death. The fight continues, but between Slade and Talia. And Slade explains what he means to do is torture Talia, make her watch as he kills Batman, and then Damian. Talia stabs Slade in the chest. Ravager sees her dead father, and Batman asks what she's done. When the fake Deathstroke shows up and says it's what Batman should have done long ago. When Talia means to kill this imposter, however, but before she can, an earthquake occurs, and he begins to go through his motivations. Deathstroke hurt his family, while League of Assassins hurt his country, and that the people of Markovia need their prince to avenge them, meaning that they need Geoforce. For those unaware, Geoforce's sister Tara was molested by Slade, also forced into being his operative within the Teen Titans, which led to her death. That is where the issue ends. And that's going to do it for this week's Roundup. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying live long and rock hard.